What up, man? It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. I originally was starting this video and then I realized I had to stop it for a moment because I was wondering why the plugins didn't appear to be working entirely correctly. I mean, the plugins work and the workstation works, but the routing, I had to try to figure out what was going on because I wasn't getting signal through the plugins. Anyway, so I'm using PREBOX. I'm working on mix. I'm still at the beginning, so you guys haven't really missed anything. But I couldn't get my 1081 preamp to work, but now I did. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much, right? Let's get back to the mix. So you'll get to see now how I solved that problem. These are mono tracks, and I think that's the reason why this problem was happening, is that it typically wants to go input left. Usually if it's stereo tracks, it'll go both, right? But because it's mono tracks, it only went one, and you need to feed it to both inputs in order to engage the plugin correctly. So that's what I had to figure out. So the issue came from, usually I work with stereo tracks, these are mono tracks, so that's something I need to be aware of. And that's something you need to be aware of as well. So anyway, let's go. I figure you guys might have some questions about what I'm doing. So I didn't realize, because I had made a video and then I had to delete it because I had those technical problems that I wasn't aware of. So anyway, I'm using the monitor section now. So monitor section, I'm going to try to do most of the mixing in mono, and then I'm going to dim it from time to time, but I'm also going to check it, obviously with the stereo field. So that's what I'm doing. And if anybody wants to know why I'm not using the drive on the channels, instead I'm using the Neve 1081 mic pre, because I like the way that sounds. That's why. It's just personal preference. There's nothing wrong with the drive that comes with Harrison Mixbus. Also, I'm using an SSL bus compressor. Nothing wrong with their bus compressor. I just like the SSL bus compressor more because it operates a little bit differently than the Harrison one. But nothing wrong with the Harrison one. So you don't need quote quote plugins, but you can if you want to, which is what I'm doing. I like the Neve preamp. I like the way that it reacts. I like the sound of it. So that's all. Otherwise, everything else is fine. So anyhow, let's continue this mix.
about you? Yeah, I wasn't up all night scared for your life because I don't care about you. I don't know what to do. We're all at the end of our rope here, man. Just You know what, dude? I've kind of had it with you, to be honest. You know, saying nobody cares about you. Yeah, I wasn't up all night scared for your life because I don't care about you. I don't know what to do. We're all at the end of our rope here, man. Just reach out. You know what, dude? I've kind of had it with you, to be honest. You know, saying nobody cares about you. Yeah, I wasn't up all night scared for your life because I don't care about you. You know what, dude? I've kind of had it with you, to be honest. You know, saying nobody cares about you. Yeah, I wasn't up all night scared for your life because I don't care about you. I don't know what to do. We're all at the end of our rope here, man. Just reach out. and still you say that I'm the one who's selfish. For my pain, you get to feel a for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still you say that I'm the one who's selfish. For my pain, you for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still you say that I'm the one who's selfish. For my pain, you get to feel of my essence, and still you say that I'm the one who's selfish. For my pain, you get to for my pain, you get for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence. For my pain, for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still you say that I'm the one who's selfish. For my pain, for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still you say that I'm for my pain, you get to feel a whisper for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still for my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my pain, you get to feel a whisper of my essence, and still you say that I'm the one who's instead for my pain, for my pain, for my pain, for my pain, you feel a whisper for my pain, for my pain, you feel a whisper of my You know what, dude? I've kind of had it with you, to be honest. Saying nobody cares about you. Yeah, I wasn't up all night scared for your life because I don't care about you. I don't know what to do. We're all at the end of our rope here, man. Just reach out. People care, all right?
I never saw it come. The hit, the hum of distant drumming, thought to walk around. Got the word. Come to sail away, shed my sweet naivete to another shore with more in store than yesterday.
You know what, dude? I've kind of had it with you, to be honest. Saying nobody cares about you.
I never saw it coming. And then through the haze, the hum of distant drumming, I thought to walk around it. I never saw it coming. And then through the haze, the hum of distant drumming, I thought to walk around it. Forgot the word to leave it where I found it. I've only come to sail away, shed my sweet naivete to another shore with more in store than yesterday. And Gloria and everything. I tried to move a mountain. It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. I bit my tongue about it. No fear, my dear. These walls will scream, don't doubt it. I've only come to sail away, find another kind of pain to release me from myself. These chains shall not be worn. In Gloria and everything. I suffered to endless for my pain, to feel the whisper of my essence, and still say I'm the one who's selfish. I've only come to sail away, erase the day and make the maker. Your thoughts alone, I walk away and fade beyond. In Gloria and everything. In Gloria and everything. I never saw it coming. I I never saw it coming. I never saw it coming. And then through the haze, the hum of distant drumming, I thought to walk around it, but got the word. I've only come, but got the word, but got the word to leave it where I found it. I've only come to sail away, but got the word to leave it where I found it. I've only come to sail away, shed my sweet naivete to another show with more in store than yesterday. But God, shed my sweet naivete, shed my sweet naivete, shed my sweet naivete to another show with, shed my sweet, another show with more, another show with more in store, another show with more. Another show with more in store than yesterday. And Gloria and everything. And Gloria and everything. I tried to move a mountain. It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. And Gloria and everything. I tried to move a mountain. It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. I bit in Gloria and everything. I tried to move a mountain. 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 It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. I bit my tongue about it. No fear, my dear. These walls will scream, don't doubt it. I've only come to sail away, find another kind of pain to release me from myself. These chains shall not be worn. In Gloria and everything. I suffered to endless for my pain, to feel the whisper of my essence, and still say, I'm the one who's selfish. I've only come to sail away, erase the day and make the maker. Got darker down, I walk away and fade beyond. In Gloria and everything. In Gloria tried to move a mountain. It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. I bit my tongue about it. No fear, my dear. These walls will scream, don't doubt it. I've only come to sail away, find another kind of pain to release me from myself. These chains shall not be worn. In Gloria and everything.
Okay, so that was an interesting mix. Kind of a long one too, wasn't it? So there was a few things that I was doing. I'm just going to recap real quick. I think that this mix is pretty much ready. Hold on a second. Let me just, I'm going to export it without the limiter, so I want to turn it down a little bit. Give me a second.
I tried to move a mountain. It feels insane, but crazy is my outlet. I bit my tongue about it. No fear, my dear. These walls will scream, don't doubt it. I've only come to sail away, find another kind of pain to release me from myself. These chains shall not be worn. In Gloria and everything.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. So, man, I had to do a lot, man. This is one of those fix it in the mix type of type of tracks. You know how I am about that. Especially with like the main vocal kind of was like, okay, dude, you know, there was a lazy recording engineer who didn't try to like ride the fader while the dude was singing. So I got to do it at the mix stage. Not a big problem, but it was a little bit of a problem because you see the way that I have things set up, we're running this vocal through the channel and whatnot, and then it's going into the vocal bus, which has a, you know, a FET compressor here, an 1176 style FET compressor. So, you know, unfortunately his vocal was so dynamic, but at the same time I didn't want to squash it too bad. So it was really like trying to figure out what was the right thing to do. I went with a fast release. That's something that CLA does too. He goes fast release on his 1176. So I went fast release, but I just kept the attack time at medium and the ratio at 4:1. And I wanted all the vocals to go through the 1176 into, of course, the 3-band EQ, and then kind of a final stage compressor which is just a leveler. Obviously a Harrison leveler here. And then with it at its default controls, I didn't mess with it. And then loads, I mean, you know, I got the gain reduction, but I went very, very little. And then loads, of course, which is the De-Esser, just to de-ess the vocals. I think it turned out decent. When it comes to live drums, I guess maybe my issue is sometimes I think live drums seem to kind of crunch over each other in a way. I tried to see if I could control that with the gate, for one. Like everything. See, now this is a track where these are all live instruments, so therefore gating everything by default as a practice that I do even on my beats. You know, it's an automatic thing that I do in here, so I know that I'm not forgetting. So another thing that I was doing though is that in Harrison Mixbus 32C, for some reason, when you have mono tracks and you load in a plugin, it doesn't. It'll try to grab from that one channel, right? So usually left channel, so it makes sense that it would go through the left channel and then out through the left channel. But in this case, in order to engage the plugin, it needs to have both channels, and that's why the stereo channels didn't have any problems loading the plugin in, but the mono channels did. And in this case, I have to go in, right-click to pin connections, and then I have to give it a stereo input, or basically take the channel and feed it through both to go into the plugin, then it can go out one, doesn't matter. It's applied to both though, it's not, obviously, because it's a mono track. So that's where I was, because I wanted to put the Neve 1081 preamp before everything, because I want to drive it into the preamp to get that really nice Neve color sound saturation, and then go into the Harrison EQ, which, see, this is what I'm doing. I make a Frankenstein console out of this, dude, because I have, instead of using the pre's that they give you here, which are great, and I'm glad they give them to you, me personally, now I'm just being picky, right? I'm just being picky. I mean, I could work with the pre that they give you here, the drive knob they have here in Harrison, but I'm just being picky because I like the Neve sound. So, but I love the Harrison EQ. See, I'm getting the best of every world. I got the Neve, right? That Neve color, that's what we love about Neves. Then Harrison EQ, that's what we love about Harrison. Then the Harrison compressor, which is completely fine on the channel. The channel compressor is completely fine. I use the leveler. It's probably my favorite compressor on channels. I think it is. I didn't do any aggressive compression. I really like the leveler in the default position. Just bring it down. I don't know why, it sounds good, right? That's just the way it works for me. It's very transparent, but it also sounds good, and it is taking care of what I want it to do, which is to provide it some tone, and it controls dynamics well. And then I want to send it out of the bus into the drum bus, so or into a bus of some kind. Not every instrument got routed to a bus, but a lot of them did. This one. Because we had so many instruments, I did want to have to make sure I had an overall tone over those instruments. But in this case, like the drum bus, you know, I control the tone of the drum bus, put the orange tape on it. As a matter of fact, I didn't put orange tape on the vocals. God, now I have to check it. Hold on, give me a second.
I tried to move a mountain. I've only come to sail away. Release me from myself. These chains shall not be worn. In Gloria and everything.
Okay, yeah, I want orange tape on the vocals too. So anyway, the orange tape sounds great. So then I applied the 3-band EQ, of course, a leveler compressor on every bus, and then in this case, of course, on the vocal bus, there's 1176 EQ, Harrison 3-band EQ on the bus, the compressor, leveler, and then De-Esser before the fader. And then that goes out to the master. And then, of course, guitars, once again, just very basic, EQ compressor, that's already here, orange tape drive, and send it out. I want to say that for the cello, yeah. So I made sure everything, I just forgot the vocals to put on orange. I guess, I don't know, I guess the yellow tape is just fine, but but I like orange. I like warmer stuff. So those are a couple things that I had to do. Like I said about the pre's on this one, I had to make sure when you run a plugin on here on a mono channel, you have to make sure that if the plugin in order to operate correctly, at least this one needs to have a stereo input. So the inputs need to come in on both sides in order to engage it, and then it can go out the single mono channel. So that's what I had to do here. So that's what you were seeing me do there. I also grouped the violas because I didn't want to put them on a bus. There was just two of them, and I just wanted to bring them down because they were kind of getting loud. I also had to write automation on the main vocal. I didn't have to do it on the other vocals, so that's why I did it in the channel. Otherwise, I would have automated the vocal bus. But I didn't want to automate the vocal bus because I didn't want to control the background vocals as well. I could have put the background vocals on its own bus, but I didn't want to do that either. I really wanted to keep it simple, and I'm just using 4 buses out of 12. So I think that's good. The master bus, of course, I used the SSL bus compressor. Lovely. Look how quick that was and easy, right? I just love the sound that the SSL bus compressor gives me. The difference is because the bus compressor here that Harrison gives you doesn't have a fast enough release. Here I'm getting a 0.1 millisecond release here. The Harrison one gives you 5, which would put it about a medium release. So a 5 millisecond release on the Harrison is maybe a little too slow for me. So I wanted a faster release. Plus, I like the ability to just go click real quick on the attacker release and the ratios, as opposed to, like fine tuning it and stuff. I prefer just, click, click, click. I'm right where I need to be, and then apply threshold. Sounds wonderful. Sounds great. I have turbo engaged on this because it's compressing the entire signal as opposed to a fraction of the signal when it's on main. Turbo compresses the whole signal, and that's what I want. I want bus compression over everything in order to get that glue. So we have good glue. I use the Harrison 3-band EQ on the master bus just for a little final touch up. I didn't touch the drive knob here. There is a little bit of drive on here, but I didn't mess with it because at the mastering stage, I'm actually going to put one thing before I actually use digital mastering. Is I'm going to put a line amplifier, a Neve line amp over the entire mix. The reason for that, I know people are like, why the fuck are you doing that? What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, isn't there enough saturation for you? Well, yes, there is. But I like the tone that it gives me. It seems to put an overall just really nice finish over the entire mix afterwards. I would do that in here, but I don't really like to run plugins too much in Harrison Mixbus 32C because some of these plugins just don't play right with Harrison Mixbus 32C. And in this case too, I want to keep that at the mastering stage. I'm not going to mess with it here. Or sometimes what I like to do too is I like to take this and I'll actually go to mixanalog.com. If it's an important enough song, in this case, it kind of is. I might do that. I don't know. I'm going to try both. I'm going to try the plug-in version first. If not, I'll actually run it through a hardware at mixanalog.com. I'll run it through a hardware 1084 line amplifier. And just to give it that one last coating, that sheen at the end. That's what it does. It just seems to take everything and anything that makes it sound even a tiny bit digital, it's gone. It sounds like a total analog mix at the very end. And I mean, this sounds good. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't sound like a digital mix per se, but it's just it adds a little bit of extra, but very, very like subtle warmth and kind of depth to the overall mix that is already really present already here. It's just gives it that one little, just a tiny bit extra, man. That tiny bit goes a long way, man. And that's just like an extra thing that I like to do, especially on a very serious song. Is I want to do that and make sure that it sounds really, really like just super polished at the end before I go into digital mastering, which I'm going to even tell you what that is. It's literally Master Assistant on Ozone. That's all it is. Because why? I don't even really fuck with it unless Master Assistant really fucks the master up. I mean, I'll use tonal balance control and kind of like just check the curve to be sure that I'm not and nothing's really fucked up. But I mean, if it gets it there, I don't touch anything, man. It's perfect. the idea here is that really you should not be mastering your own mixes, but so that's kind of the philosophy behind it all. And I figure that Ozone's really good at taking a mix and just kind of tightening it up, making it right and making it loud. So there's usually very little you have to do anyway after Master Assistant gets the job done. The only time that Master Assistant really has to work is if you plug in a shitty mix to it and it's trying to, it's going to try to fit a certain curve, and then that curve sounds all fucked up because the mix was all fucked up to begin with. In this case, I feel like the mix is already like, it's pretty much almost sounds like it's mastered by the time you get to the mastering stage. All I want to do is make it louder at that point. And in that case, it should be kind of doing small, very subtle adjustments so that then when it's brought up loud, we don't really lose the impact of the mix. I don't want it changing things too drastically. So that's kind of what I do at the mastering stage. It's lazy as fuck, but it works because I did all the work here. I worked my ass off here, and you guys get to see that in this video. I busted my fucking ass over this. I even did fucking recorded automation. And I figure it was good you guys get to see that. You get to see how easy it was to go put automation in. So automatically. Now I have the vocal on touch, which I probably should put it on read at this point. So let me go back to it. Where's that main vocal now? Here's lead vox, excuse me. All right, so now I just want it, we'll put on play. All right, so now I can't, if I accidentally move the fucking fader, I won't fuck anything up. So that's it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and print this mix. I think it's good to go. I'm gonna do my final stages in the mastering stage, and then I think it's polished sound. And I mean, dude, this is 39 tracks. Like, I mean, when you get the track count starts getting big, man, and you're trying to do this all in one session. Like, normally I would have probably taken a break before. I would have been like, all right, I'm gonna go take a break for about 30 minutes, come back and do that vocal. But I was like, no, I'm doing a video. I'm gonna just knock this whole thing out. So we have a really good mix here. It's solid. And that's the whole point. How long would this have taken if you were fucking around in Pro Tools having to go grab plugins while you're doing this shit? I mean, the only plugins I needed was a preamp and a bus compressor and everything else, and a De-Esser, and then everything else I did within here. I do want to change a couple things though. I have Brit Pre here. I don't really need that. I'm gonna remove from favorites. Oh, and I use FETISH because it's a good bus compressor, or not bus compressor. It's a good compressor for the vocal bus. So I definitely wanted that. It gives good flavor, good character. So overall, this mix sounds really, really solid. It sounds out of the box to me. It doesn't sound like an in the box mix. So I know I got trolls. I just had to ban a fucking troll today. Because he's just being a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? I can take like constructive criticism all day long. And I go, it makes sense. I appreciate your input, whatever. I'm good with that. I like constructive feedback. I like that helps me get better at what I do. But not some guy who just comes on there and just says, you're just a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. Fuck your videos. You're a fucking idiot. I don't know how many can watch your shit. I don't know why these other dumbasses are subscribing to you. Who the hell wants to subscribe and watch this? Those kind of people, they're just there to just try to, they hate the fact that motherfuckers watch my shit. They hate the fact that I might actually know to some degree half of what I'm doing, and that I'm not over here sucking off plugin companies and shit. They hate that shit. So, I'm going to be a fucking dick then, if they're going to be a fucking dick to me, I'm going to be a dick back. But, ultimately, I don't really want all that toxic shit on my channel, so I just get rid of these people. And they do that. And it's been rare. Most of you guys have been very, very, very supportive, very cool and shit. And I'm thankful for that, man. And I appreciate every one of you. But at the same time, if there's a fucking dick, and there's dicks out there, if you're being a fucking dick, bro, I ain't gonna put up with your shit. I thought about this to myself. Why do I want to argue with this asshole? I ain't gonna convince him shit. He's dead set on being a dickhead on my fucking page or my fucking channel, and just wants to get me all riled up over some shit. So I just said, fuck it, man. I just banned these people, man. I blocked them from the channel. They can't even watch my videos anymore, too. Too bad, man. You lost out on all that good info because you want to be a prick. So now you got to watch the other guys. And they don't always want to tell you shit. And I'm telling you, too, the other guys, a lot of the time, they're in there trying to sell you plugins, bruh. Me, what am I doing? I'm using free plugins. The only thing I'm trying to sell you on is Harrison Mixbus 32C. And not only because I like it, man. I love it. Harrison didn't put me up to this. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love their software. I love having a console. That's what I love. And then anything else, I'm using free plugins, man. I'm telling you guys, go get the free shit. Don't pay these motherfuckers nothing. Except, well, okay, pay this guy who made the free plugins. Give him, throw some money in his Patreon, man, because what he's doing, man, is he's doing God's work, man, for this, for the community. He's actually just making useful plugins that sound good, better than the stuff that you could, or as good as what you could already pay money for. You get a perpetual forever license because I don't even think he puts a license with it. He just gives you the plugin, and it works from the gate, man. You don't have to put any license in there. You just take it, throw it in your VST or AX folders, and boom, you're ready to go. That's what I'm saying, man. I like people like that, man, and he's got a Patreon, man. Just go over there, throw him some love, show him some love in his Patreon, put a little bit of money in there, man, to support what he's doing, and so that he continues making these great plugins. As a matter of fact, he's got a new one that's an API. You know that 10-band EQ from API that I think is amazing? I've never really told you guys about this, but the first time I came across that 10-band EQ, literally it was on the Waves API, and I love the way that it sounded on pianos. But we don't love Waves, right? So I want to see if they had an alternative version. So I had the Lindell 50 series, which I bought from Plugin Alliance, and I think it's wonderful. I do. But I don't really want to run a console within a console, you know what I mean? Because like Lindell 50 is basically an API console emulation, and then running it inside of a console, which is Harrison Mixbus 32C. So in this case, I was like, no, I would only want just the EQ by itself, and I'm not going to get it from Waves. I don't give a fuck if it's the best sounding one. I don't think it is, actually, but still, even if it were, I wouldn't get it from Waves because they're a scumbag company. Well, thankfully, our buddy who makes the free stuff, Analog Obsession, made an API, that 10-band API EQ. So I'm going to get that, but usually, I'm just telling you guys, usually his very first versions are kind of buggy. So I want to wait until like he's updated it to like, this is version 3 or version 4. I've, fixed some of the bugs and crashing or whatever of the plugin. And then by then it's like, it's solid and you can run it and everything. If you get the first iteration of it, it's usually, it's kind of like in beta. That's the way I see it. It's like in beta form. So, it may work, it may not. It might not do exactly what it should be doing on the first run. But after he gets some feedback from the community, and then he goes, okay, let me go in and fix the plugin. Once he fixes the plugin, then it's solid, man. You can run it on everything. And it's beautiful, and it doesn't eat up your CPU, and it does the job. It does the job, man. He's actually, like I said, he's making tools that work, sound really very, very much like the actual analog gear, and on top of it all, you don't have to get suckered into some kind of money scam that you get from Waves Audio, right? So you don't have to go through that. So anyway, if you guys like my videos, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're a troll, please go away and never come back. Otherwise, I'll make sure you go away and never come back via the ban hammer, right, on YouTube. And if you got constructive criticism, by all means, just go ahead and drop a comment. And I'm all ears. Anything that I can do to improve, I'm open to it. You guys have taught me a lot, as a matter of fact. And no, I don't know everything. So there's another thing. So there you take that, trolls. I never said I know everything. Fucks. Right? So stick that up your ass. Right? So anyway, I I can take constructive criticism well. You know, at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna put up with some dickhead on my shit. Obviously, you know, so now you guys know the guy was a big time dickhead for me to mention him for about 1/3 of the video. So he did get what he wanted. Are you happy now? Well, he can't see this video to know anything because I blocked him. You're gonna have to log out of your YouTube and then come back and check mine out just to see and give me a play to see if I'm talking shit about you. But anyhow, man. It's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. If you really like what I'm doing, like I said, show support by liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell. Bear in mind, though, the HD version takes 2 hours after I upload. Remember that. And so maybe you'll get the notification, but then go put a reminder in the phone. Remind me to watch the new Vigilante Styles video 2 hours from now, right? You say it to Google or to Siri, and then it'll save that notification, and then 2 hours later, it'll tell you, hey, it's time to watch the video. And then you can watch the HD version. You can hear everything in HD, and you can see everything in HD. So anyway, so this is my workflow. I hope you guys enjoy it. And anyhow, I need to get off my ass and go do something else. Okay? So you guys be good. It's your boy Vigilante Styles, and I'm out. Peace.